A great YouTube video starts way before the camera turns on. And a huge part of that is actually the script. Because a killer script isn't just about what you say, it is about keeping the viewer curious enough to stay till the very end. Now take out a notebook just like this, because I'm going to be breaking down every step that you need to create a killer YouTube script. Now let's get into it, because I'm sure some of these steps are going to surprise you. Part number 1, the idea and research. Now it's all about starting with something that people genuinely care about or a problem that people need solving. For example, the principles I use on my main channel include procrastinating, doom scrolling, not being consistent, and so many people have that pain of, not being disciplined and falling into bad habits and routines. And that's exactly why people watch the videos. On the one hand, watching those videos make them feel a certain way, they make them feel productive. And on the other hand, those videos on my main channel, they solve the problem of procrastinating, low discipline, low consistency. And you're probably watching this video over here because you need to know what actually makes a really good YouTube script. Because chances are you're not seeing the views or the results that you want to see. And that's why you're here. It's either a pain or a desire. And that is something you can actually bake into the script of your videos to make them engaging and interesting enough for everybody to watch. The first step is actually understanding the viewer. So number 1, ask yourself, who is this video for? Who are you making this for? And actually the best way to find your ICP is to talk to them. So what I did with the main channel is I started to hop on calls, onboarding calls in the community, one-on-one coaching calls, so many calls and so many hours of just talking to the people who bought from me. Because I realized, what better way to get feedback around, what your viewers want, what do they desire, what pain are they trying to fix. The best way to understand everything about the ICP is to speak to them in real time. And that's what I did for hours. And that helped me with the messaging, with the copy, with the scripts as well. Every part of the videos actually improved because I was able to really talk one-on-one with those people that I'm trying to serve. And I think you should do the exact same. So the best way to understand your viewer is to talk to them, is to write about them, is to think about it from your perspective. Chances are your ICP is very close to the person you were 4 years ago. If you went and scaled a business from this point to this point, then the version of you before scaling is the ICP you're targeting. And now you're trying to help them scale in the same exact way that you did. Same thing with me. I was undisciplined. I would procrastinate. I was not who I wanted to be. And now I am. Now I am disciplined. Now I don't procrastinate. I'm so productive. And this transformation, this journey, that is what I'm helping people through my videos. The script is all about taking people from a transformation of point A to point Z. And that all starts with creating one clear promise. Most scripts feel too vague because they target too many things at the same time. A successful YouTube script just solves one clear problem. It creates one clear promise for one avatar. So you want to make it obvious what the viewer is actually going to learn by the end of the video. You see, the more unclear the message is, the more chance the viewer is going to leave before the end of the video. Now, what actually turns viewers off is not what you think. It's not boring editing. It's not a lack of music or visuals or B-rolls. It's actually just confusion about why they are watching. You see, your intro doesn't have to be complex. It doesn't have to be, over the top or fancy. It just has to be simple. It just has to be something that, anybody can understand. So powerful scripting is not complex scripting. It is not fancy scripting. It is simple scripting. Remember this, one clear promise for one clear avatar. Now, before we move on to part number 2, which is the actual structure of the script, which I'm going to give you, let's talk about finding your unique angle. You see, the thing about building a successful personal brand is it's almost impossible to say something that hasn't been said before. Even if you think that you made a quote, or even if you think that you said something unique and new, chances are somebody's already said that before. So it's not really about reinventing the wheel or saying something completely new. It's just about this. It's about being able to say the same thing again and again and again, but say it in different ways. Now, if you watch all of the YouTube videos that I make on the main channel, something you'll notice is I'm not saying different things in each video. A lot of the topics I cover, they actually overlap. And now you might think it's a problem because it's your personal brand and you're in your own thoughts 24/7. It might feel like you were saying the same thing and you were repeating yourself, but to the outside viewer, they really don't care. All they want is value. All they want is an effectively communicated message. And the only way you're going to get to a point where you can say your message perfectly is if you say it and practice it again and again. So it's about finding your unique angle, because the truth is people are not on your video or watching your video just for information. If they just needed information, they would just search on Google or search ChatGPT. But they want your message. They want the way you convey the message. That's why it's a personal brand. That's what separates a personal brand from just a normal brand. So to recap part number 1, find a very strong topic. The theme is almost everything. Number 2, understand the viewer and your ICP. Number 3, create one clear promise. And number 4, find your unique angle. Part number 2, the structure. Now with a script, the hook is everything. Like, I know you've heard this before, but the hook is the most important thing. It's almost like 70 to 80% of the results. It doesn't matter how good your script is if the hook or the intro is bad. Same thing, it doesn't matter how good your YouTube video is. If the beginning is bad, if the hook, if the thumbnail and title are bad, then nobody's gonna watch, nobody's gonna click. So step number 1 is to obviously get people to click with good packaging. Step number 2 is to get people to stay with the hook or the intro. And step number 3 is to get people to continue to watch after the intro because of the video. And this is where scripting really shines. You see, by scripting, you are able to craft a perfect intro. You are able to make an intro that opens a loop, that opens this curiosity inside the viewer's brain. And this is so powerful because if you really think about it, if you just turned on the camera and you didn't have a script, then what are you gonna say? You're probably gonna repeat yourself 10 times. You're probably going to say something that only you care about because that's what you're thinking. And you're not going to be able to effectively talk about what the viewer and your ICP actually care about. Their desires, their pains. So designing a script is the best way to shift out of that perspective and enter the perspective of your viewer. Your opening should immediately create the interest and the thought in the viewer's mind of, I want to know where this is going. For example, you probably noticed, or you maybe didn't, in this video, I use blurred out parts to evoke curiosity. And subconsciously, the person watching this video, you watching this video, you're going to think, I want to know the next steps. I want to know the next parts. And this takes me to the second part of structure, and that is creating open loops. Open loops are everything. The moment you have no open loops, meaning you close the loop and you didn't open another one, then people just start to get bored. So it's about continuously, through your script, opening loops, closing them, opening loops, closing them again. And the easiest way I can describe this and explain this is through questions. If I ask you a question, then you're gonna want to know the answer. So everything you write in the script, it has to ask a question. So first of all, the title and thumbnail have to ask a question. And once you're in the intro, now you're asking a different question. And then you answer that question, and then you ask another one, and then you answer that question, and then you ask another one. For example, after part number 2, I said this. I said, write a strong hook. As soon as I said that, now you're asking yourself, what does a strong hook look like? What is a strong hook? Why does it matter? By writing the right thing in your script, and when you say it in the video, the viewer and the person watching ask themselves 2 questions, sometimes even 3. They ask themselves, what does that mean? How am I going to get there? And also in some cases, why does that matter? So this is a mini feedback loop. You had a question, it got answered, and then you had another question, it got answered, and you're always pretty satisfied. And now look, all of this is subconscious. Like, this doesn't happen. You don't think about this. It just happens automatically, subconsciously. And now with your script, such an important thing is organizing the main points. You need to split up your script into different areas and different parts and different sections. So the impression that you want people to have when they watch your videos is that you are direct, you are clear, you are structured. And a good script is well organized. As you've noticed, I always, in every single video, we have different parts. Part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. Because if everything is blended together, then it just sounds messy, it sounds unorganized. You're able, with your script, by scripting it out, by organizing it perfectly, you're able to take viewers through this A, B, C, D, and this chronological process. So in this video, the whole promise is just understanding how to create amazing YouTube scripts. For example, why should I focus on YouTube scripts? Why are they important? Number 2, what does a good script, amazing script look like? Number 3, how can I, as the viewer, as the person watching this video, implement this into my personal brand? Now, every single point, every single question leads back to the same point. And that is, in this video, how to make amazing YouTube scripts. And now before we get on to part number 3, which is the actual writing of a script, I want to talk about this one thing. Keep the pacing moving. Now, you want to remove unnecessary information, random fluff, and things that don't add to the main plot. People just want to get straight to the point. The majority of your video, most of your video should be on point. And then if you have 1 minute where you're talking off point, that's okay. So use clean transitions in your script. Always refer to the next thing and open a loop. And make sure the video never feels like it's standing still. Because if the viewer gets bored, then he's out. And especially because people nowadays don't have good attention spans. When you're watching a YouTube video, you have so many videos on the right side, recommended videos, and subconsciously the viewer is thinking about when is the right time to skip. When should they go and skip and watch another video? So a secret tip that you can put in your scripts is actually asking viewers to watch the video on full screen. This alone reduces the risk of the viewer getting bored or getting distracted. Now, if you're enjoying this video, you're taking notes, and you want to build a better personal brand, then subscribe to this channel. We make videos that help you make better videos that people actually want to watch. Now, let's get into the last and most important part number 3, the writing. So the number 1 tip I want to give for writing scripts is It should not sound unnatural. Now, the way you write a script should sound completely natural if you're reading it aloud. It shouldn't feel so polished and so professional with perfect grammar and vocabulary. It should be simple, to the point. It should sound exactly like you speak. Only write like you speak, otherwise the script it's not gonna feel right. And number 2, before you press record, before you start recording and talking, review your script. Look at it twice, 3 times, remove any fluff, and make sure every single point has a purpose. And make sure that purpose ties back to the main point of the video. Each point in your script should either provide value, evoke curiosity, or build emotion, or move the video forward. So you want to make your script in such a way that it's almost like a ladder. Like every single point leads up to the next and the next and the next. That is why you love movies, because movies take you through this like progression from this A to Z, this plot, and then this problem, and then the fix, and then the solution. And that's why it's so easy to watch a movie. And now taking a movie as an example, which is actually a good example because a lot of us like to watch movies. Movies have been there forever. And that brings me to stories and examples which are used in almost every movie. And now a good YouTube video should, instead of just explaining an idea, it should show the viewer what that actually looks like with a real life example, or maybe a relatable situation. I mean, we all have that uncle you see once a year, and at the family gathering, he just says the most captivating stories. You're gonna want to be like that uncle, but in your own script. You see, the best way to make a really good script is to write a lot and then eliminate. You write down all of your ideas for that video, for the title, everything that relates to the concept of the video. You create some structure, you space things out, and you put all of your thoughts and ideas around that topic on paper, on your Google Docs, whatever you use. And at the end, you want to treat it almost like a sculpture. You want to chip down and break away at the parts that aren't helping you get to your goal. If something is repetitive, if something doesn't add value, if something's a bit off topic, just remove it. The process of elimination is going to make a good script. So to summarize this video, part number 1 starts with ideas and research. The most important part is finding a strong topic, finding an idea, an outlier video, something, a framework that people already want to watch. The second thing is understanding your viewer and ICP. The better you understand them, the better you can make your scripts, the better your videos. And your scripts should have one clear promise for one clear avatar. And that should be portrayed in your unique angle. Now in part number 2, we talked about the structure. This is all about the hook and how the hook is the most important part of the video. And to write a good hook, you need to evoke curiosity, open loops, and also keep things very, very simple. The more simple your intro and hook, the more people understand, the less confusion, the better the results. You can have like part number 1, part number 2, part number 3, and every part can be recapped and summarized in one sentence. So in part number 3, the writing, what we talked about was you should only write like you speak. Your script should not sound robotic. Even if you do use ChatGPT to help you write the script, you need to change enough from the original where it sounds like you. It has to sound natural. You need to write exactly like you speak, otherwise it will just break the flow of the video. You're gonna want to use stories and examples. I mean, just think about your life. What have you been through? And put that in your script. If you want to explain something, the best way to explain something is to relate it to a story. Connect it to a past experience that you had. And be like that cool uncle who always tells the most amazing stories. And finally, the process of elimination for your scripts is so important. Cut the boring parts. So remove everything that's wrong with the script, and you will have everything that is right with it. Now I hope you've taken notes to actually implement everything I've told you, because information without implementation is just productive procrastination. Now if you found this video helpful and want to learn more about making videos that will grow your personal brand, then subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.